You want to be something in this world? You think success comes easy? Nah. Success is pain. It's sweat. It's blood. It's waking up every day knowing that the world don't want you to win. And guess what? Most people ain't built for it. They fold, they break, they run when things get hard. See, pressure is the great divider. It don't care who you are, where you come from, what your excuses are. It only asks one thing: can you take the heat? Most people, they crack, they talk big, act tough, but the moment life squeezes them, they shatter like cheap glass. That's why there's only a few real players in this game. Because only a few got the guts to hold on when everything's pushing down on them. The weak ones, they whine, they cry, they beg for somebody to make it easy. But there ain't no easy in this world. No one's coming to save you. No one gives a damn about your struggle. You either stand up and take what's yours, or you sit there watching somebody else do it. Pressure don't break strong men. It sharpens them. It carves out the bone, leaves nothing but pure steel. Every hit you take, every setback, every moment where you want to quit, that's the fire forging you into something unstoppable. But only if you take it. Only if you refuse to bow. Look at the ones at the top. You think they got there because life was nice to them? Nah. They got there because they took every punch and came back swinging. They didn't cry about it. They didn't ask for a break. They became the break. That's the difference between the king and the nobody. A king takes the pain and turns it into power. A nobody lets the pain bury him. So ask yourself, when life comes at you, when everything's crashing down, when you feel like you got nothing left here, you're gonna be the diamond or the dust. Because there's only two ways this ends. You rise up, harder, sharper, untouchable, or you crumble. The choice ain't fate, it ain't luck, it's you. Now go earn your crown. You think the world cares about your struggle? You think it's gonna stop just because you're tired, just because you're hurting? Nah, it keeps moving. Keeps throwing punches. And if you ain't ready to take them, you're already finished. Pressure don't ask if you're ready. It don't wait for you to toughen up. It comes fast, it comes hard, and it only leaves two kinds of men standing: the ones who rise or the ones who break. Everybody wants to shine. Everybody wants the power, the money, the respect. But you ever seen how a diamond is made? It don't come out of the ground looking like something people kill for. Nice stars is a worthless piece of rock, buried deep, forgotten. And then comes the pressure, the heat. It gets squeezed, it gets burned, it gets crushed, until all that weakness, all that extra gets stripped away, and only the strongest part survives. That's what makes it valuable. That's what makes it shine. And that's you. You think you're struggling? Good. You think it's too much? It ain't. That's just the process. That's the fire turning you into something worth fearing, something worth respecting. The only thing that matters is whether you can take it, whether you can stand in that fire and come out sharper, stronger. Weak men don't make it here. You ever see them? You ever watch how they start? They talk big, act like they got everything figured out. But then life starts pressing down, and you see what they're really made of. The moment things stop being easy, they start running, they look for a way out. They start blaming the world, blaming other people, blaming anything but themselves, and then they disappear. Just another nobody who couldn't handle the pressure. But you ain't built like them. You're still here, you're still fighting. Means you got a shot. That means you're already ahead of half the people who gave up before they even got started. But don't get it twisted. Having the guts to stand ain't enough. You gotta push through. You gotta keep moving, even when your body's screaming at you to stop. That's the difference between making it and being forgotten. You ever wonder why some people get everything while others get nothing? You think it's luck? You think the ones at the top got handed something special? Nah, They got put through the same fire, the same pressure. But instead of breaking, they used it. Every struggle, every betrayal, every hit they took, they turned it into fuel. While everybody else was crying about how hard it was, they were working, grinding, building themselves into something the world couldn't ignore. That's how you win. That's how you survive. Not by wishing things were easier, not by waiting for somebody to come and save you, by embracing the pain, by understanding that every time life tries to break you, it's giving you a chance to prove it can't. That's real power. That's the kind of strength no one can take from you. You ever notice how the ones who've been through the worst are always the ones you don't want to mess with? That's because they already survived the worst. Ain't nothing you can do to them that's worse than what they already faced. That's the kind of man you want to be. The kind who don't flinch. The kind who don't crack. The kind who's been through hell and came back meaner, hungrier, ready to take what's his. But you ain't there yet. Not yet. Right now, you're in the middle. Right now, you're getting hit, getting tested, and every second that passes, you're making a choice. You're gonna fall? You're gonna let the weight crush you? Or you're gonna push back? You're gonna prove you can take more? That's what separates the winners from the nobodies. The winners, they don't wait for things to get better. They make themselves better. Ain't nobody handing you a crown. Ain't nobody giving you a throne. You want it, you take it, you earn it, you fight for it, and if you ain't ready for that, then step aside. There's a million others who are. But if you are, if you got that fire in you, if you got that hunger that don't let you quit, then good. Keep going, keep pushing. Make the pain your weapon. You ever see a man who's lost everything? Ain't nothing more dangerous than that. Because once you got nothing to lose, once you already been through the worst, and you're still standing, that's when you're unstoppable. That's when nothing scares you anymore. That's when you start moving different, talking different, thinking different. Because you know now, you know the truth. Ain't nobody coming to save you. Ain't nobody gonna make it easier. It's on you. And that's the best thing that can ever happen to you. Because once you stop waiting, once you stop hoping for an easy way out, you start getting serious. You start seeing what you're really capable of. You start realizing that every time you felt like giving up, that was just the old you trying to drag you back down. And you ain't got time for that anymore. Pressure is the only way to find out what you're really made of. Anybody can smile when things are easy. Anybody can talk tough when they ain't been tested. But you're in the fire right now. You're in the middle of the war. And how you walk out of this, that's up to you. They're waiting for you to fail. They're watching, betting against you, laughing at you, thinking you ain't got what it takes. Prove them wrong. Make them regret ever doubting. Make them choke on every word they ever said. But don't do it for them. Do it for you. Do it because you refuse to be one of the ones who gave up. This ain't about revenge. This ain't about proving a point. This is about making sure you never have to beg, never have to wait, never have to rely on anyone but yourself. This is about looking in the mirror and knowing without a doubt you built yourself from nothing. That everything you got, every scar, every ounce of power, you earned it. And when that day comes, when you finally step out of this fire, harder, sharper, stronger than they ever thought you could be, that's when you'll know. That's when you'll understand why the pressure was necessary. Because it didn't break you, it made you. Now go make them remember your name. You ever notice how most people want the reward without the pain? They want the success, the money, the power, but they don't want the struggle that comes with it. They don't want to bleed for it, don't want to suffer, don't want to put in the time, they want to hand it to them. But life don't work like that. The ones who get it, the ones who make it, they paid for it in blood, sweat, and sacrifice. Everybody loves the idea of winning. They love the thought standing at the top, looking down on everybody who doubts them. But when it's time to grind, When it's time to push through hell to get there, that's when you see who's real and who's just talking. That's when the weak ones make excuses, start crying about how it's too hard, how it ain't fair. But you ain't here to complain. You ain't here to beg for an easy way out. You're here to take what's yours. You ever see a lion hunt? It don't sit around waiting for food to fall in its mouth. It don't hope somebody feeds it. It gets up, moves, hunts, fights for every single bite. And that's what makes it the king. That's what separates it from the sheep. You ain't meant to be one of them waiting, hoping, praying for a break. You were built to take it. Pressure ain't the enemy, it's the test. It's the fire that shows the world what you really are. Anybody can say they want it. Anybody can dream. But only the ones who don't break, who don't fall, who take every hit and still keep standing, only they get to wear the crown. Think back to every time you thought about quitting, every time you wanted to give up, every time you told yourself it was too much. What would have happened if you did? You'd be like them. You'd be another ghost, another forgotten face in the crowd. But you didn't, you kept going. And that's why you're still here. That's why you still got a shot. But don't think for a second that's enough. The game ain't over just because you're still standing. You gotta move forward, you gotta push harder. They're watching, waiting for you to fail. They wanna see you fall, wanna see you beg, wanna see you crawl back, asking for mercy. Give them nothing, take everything. Every step forward, every win, every move you make, let it be a reminder that you ain't them, that you ain't weak, that you ain't built like the rest of them. Pain, that's your fuel. The nights you couldn't sleep, the times they laughed at you, the moments you thought you were alone, use it. Let it drive you. Let it turn you into something they can't stop. Because once you realize that pain don't control you, that pressure don't break you, that's when you become untouchable. That's when nothing in this world can hold you back. You ever notice how the ones who got it easy never lost? They never had to fight for it, never had to crawl through the dirt to earn it. That's why they fold the second things get hard. That's why they ain't built for this life. They don't know what it means to suffer, to struggle, to grind so hard that every muscle in your body screams, but you keep moving anyway. They don't know that hunger, that desperation that turns men into legends. But you do. You've been at the bottom. You've seen what it's like to have nothing, to feel like the world's got its foot on your neck waiting for you to quit. And what did you do? You got back up, you fought back, and that's what makes you different. That's what makes you dangerous. The ones who make it, they ain't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who took every loss, every betrayal, every setback, and used it as a reason to get stronger. You think the world's unfair? Of course it is. You think life gives a damn about what you deserve? It don't. The only thing that matters is what you take, what you earn, what you build with your own. The difference between winners and losers ain't talent, it ain't luck. It's hunger. It's the fire inside that don't let you stop. It's knowing that no matter how many times you get knocked down, you ain't staying there. That's what makes a king. That's what makes a boss. You ever wonder why some people never make it? Why they spend their whole lives wishing, hoping, talking about what they're gonna do, but never actually do it? It ain't because they ain't got the skills. It ain't because they ain't got the brains. It's because they're scared. Scared of failure, scared of the pain, scared of the work it takes to get there. They let the pressure crush them before they even try. But not you. You're still here. You're still fighting. And that means you got a chance. That means the game ain't over for you. So what are you gonna do with it? You gonna let the weight break you? Let the struggle turn you into another nobody with a sad story? Or are you gonna use it? A real king don't beg. A real king don't complain. A real king don't sit around crying about how hard it is. He takes the hits, he takes the losses, he takes the pain, and he turns it into something unstoppable. That's you. That's who you're meant to be. You wanna know what real power is? It ain't money. It ain't fame. It ain't how many people know your name. Real power is knowing that no matter what happens, no matter how bad things get, you're still gonna rise. That nothing, no man, no problem, no amount of pain is enough to stop you. That's what separates the great from the forgotten. So yeah, it's gonna hurt. Yeah, it's gonna feel like the worst. That's what makes it worth it. If it was easy, it wouldn't mean anything. But it ain't easy. And that's why when you get there, when you finally look around and realize you made it, you know that every second of struggle, every drop of sweat, every hit you took was worth it. And them, the ones who doubted you, the ones who left, the ones who laughed, they'll still be down there wondering how you did it, wishing they had the guts to do the same. But they did. And you did. That's the only difference between a king and a coward. One took the pressure and turned it into something unbreakable. The other let it crush him. This ain't about luck. This ain't about destiny. This is about you. About what you decide to do when the weight gets heavy, when the world pushes down on you and tells you to quit. What do? Do you give in or do you rise? You ever wonder why some people never get past a certain point in life? Why they stay stuck, repeating the same thing over and over? It's because they don't know how to handle pressure. They think the world's supposed to go easy on them, that things should just fall into place. But the world don't work like that. It tests you. It puts you through hell to see if you're worth anything. And if you ain't, if you crack under that weight, then you ain't meant to make it. Simple as that. That's why most people stay small. They don't want to deal with that heat. The second things get uncomfortable, they start making excuses. They start telling themselves maybe it's not meant for them, maybe they should settle, maybe they should be happy with what they got. That's the mentality of a loser. That's the mindset of somebody who's never gonna be anything more than average. You ever see how gold gets made? It don't start out shining. It starts out dirty, covered in impurities, mixed up with a bunch of useless garbage. The only way to turn it into something valuable? Fire. Extreme heat. The kind of heat that burns away all the weak parts, leaves only the real thing behind. That's what pressure does to you. It either makes you pure, sharp, untouchable, it melts you into nothing. And the truth is, you don't even know what you're made of until you've been tested. Anybody can act tough when things are easy. Anybody can say they want success, say they got what it takes, when there ain't nothing standing in their way. But the moment things go wrong, the moment they hit that first real wall, that's when you find out who's real and who is just pretend. Some people, they break, they give up, they convince themselves it's too hard, it's not fair, it's somebody else's fault. They run from the fire instead of going through it. And you know what happens to those people? Nobody remembers them. Nobody respects them. They disappear. Just another face in the crowd. Just another name that don't mean a damn thing. But the ones who make it, the ones who refuse to break, they come out of that fire looking like something different. They move different, talk different. Because once you've been through that kind of struggle, you don't see the world the same way anymore. You don't waste time crying over what's fair and what ain't. You stop worrying about who's got it easier, who's more lucky, who started ahead of you. None of that matters. All that matters is what you do with what's in front of you. The real ones don't wait for the perfect moment. They don't sit around waiting for life to hand them a shot. They take it. They force the world to recognize them. They turn every loss into an opportunity, every hit into a reason to push harder. That's why they stand at the top while everybody else sits around making excuses. You ever hear people talk about how somebody changed like it's a bad thing? That's the dumbest thing you'll ever do. Because if you ain't changing, you ain't growing. If you're still thinking, acting, moving the same way you were last year, you're failing, you're falling behind. The world don't stop for nobody. And if you ain't evolving, you're getting left behind. Weak people fear change. They cling to what's comfortable, even if it's killing them. even if it's keeping them broke, keeping them weak, keeping them stuck in a cycle they hate. They'd rather stay the same than go through the pain of becoming something better. But you ain't got that option. Cause you know, deep down, if you ain't moving forward, you're already dead. You ever notice how the best fighters ain't the ones who never get hit? It's the ones who take the hit, shake it off, and keep going. That's what separates the champions from the ones who get knocked out and never get back up. Life ain't about avoiding pain. It's about taking every hit and coming back harder. It's about standing there, looking the world in the eye, and saying, you can't break me. Most people don't got that in them. They talk like they do, act like they're built for it, but the second things go bad, they fold. They ain't got the stomach for the fight. They don't want it bad enough. But you, if you've made it this far, if you're still standing after everything, then you already proved you're different. Now the only question left is how far you're willing to go. Ain't nobody coming to hand you a crown. Ain't nobody gonna look at you and say, hey, you deserve the win. Let me make it easy for you. You gotta take it. You gotta show the world that no matter what it throws at you, no matter how bad things get, you ain't backing down. You gotta make them understand that you're the type of person who don't stop, who don't quit, who don't break. You ever seen a storm hit the ocean? It don't matter how strong the wind blows, how hard the rain falls, the ocean don't stop moving. It don't complain. It don't beg for mercy. It just keeps going. That's how you gotta be. No matter what comes your way, no matter who turns their back on you, no matter how many times you get knocked down, you keep going, you keep pushing forward till you make it impossible for them to ignore you. You know why pressure is a gift? Because it shows you who your real enemies are. It shows you who's really in your corner and who's just pretending. It exposes the weak, exposes the fake, exposes the ones who were never meant to go with you to the top. It forces people to show their true colors. And that's valuable. Because once you know who's real and who ain't, once you know who you can trust and who you gotta leave behind, you stop wasting time on the wrong people. You don't need anybody who ain't ready to go through the fire with you. You don't need anybody who's waiting for the easy way out. You only need the ones who are ready to grind, to bleed, to suffer just like you. And if you find yourself alone, even better. Because now you ain't gotta carry dead weight. Now it's just you against the world. That's when you become dangerous. That's when nothing can stop you. Because when you've been through hell alone, when you've built yourself from the ground up without anybody holding your hand, that's when you realize you don't need them. You were always enough. And when they see you shining, when they see you standing tall while they're still stuck, still struggling, still waiting for something to change, that's when they'll understand. That's when they'll regret every time they doubted you, every time they thought you were finished. But by then, it'll be too late. You'll be too far ahead, too strong for them to touch. That's the real victory. Not proving them wrong, not getting revenge, just winning, just becoming the person they never thought you could be. Just making sure that when they look at you, they see what they could have been if they weren't so weak. And you keep moving forward, because you ain't built to stop. You ain't built to break. You're built to dominate, to take everything they said you couldn't have, to carve your name into this world so deep that no one ever forgets it. That's what pressure is for. It's not here to destroy you. It's here to make you. And when it's done, when all the weak parts are burned away, when all that's left is the strongest, purest version of you, and only then will you see the truth. You were never meant to be ordinary. You were never meant to be one of them. You were meant to be something greater, something untouchable, something legendary. Now go take what's yours.